1. Introduction. My name is Jess. I am 26 years old. My life was hard last winter. I had no home. I slept at the bus station. It was very cold there. I slept there for 3 nights. I had no job. I had no family to help me. The cold wind went through my clothes. My body felt very cold like ice. I often felt hungry. I felt alone in the big city. One night I was sitting on a hard bench. I was trying to sleep, but the cold made it difficult. A man came and stood in front of me. He was wearing a dark coat. His shoes were very clean and shiny. He looked different from the other people around the bus station. He looked kind and well-dressed. He did not look like he lived on the streets. He looked at me with calm eyes. His voice was soft when he spoke. He asked me a simple question. He said, "Do you need food?" I was surprised. No one had asked me that in a long time. I looked up at him. He stood very still. I did not know what to say at first. My stomach felt empty. I had not eaten a good meal for many days. My throat felt dry. I nodded my head slowly. I was too cold and tired to speak many words. That was the first time I saw Ben. He was the man who offered me help. He did not ask for anything in return. He just stood there, waiting for my answer. His presence was a small light in the darkness of my life at that moment. I did not know then how much my life would change because of this one meeting. I was just a girl sleeping in a cold bus station. He was a man with clean shoes and a kind voice. This was the start of something new for me. I did not know what it was, but it felt like a chance. A chance to be warm, a chance to eat, a chance to not be alone. 2. A new place. Ben walked with me from the bus station. The cold air still bit at my skin, but his presence made me feel a little safer. We did not talk much on the way. Soon we stopped in front of a tall building. It looked nice with many windows. Ben opened the door and we went inside. The hallway was clean and quiet. We took an elevator up many floors. My heart beat a little faster. Where was he taking me? Then he opened a door to an apartment. The air inside was warm, not cold like outside. A soft, good smell like fresh coffee filled the room. It was a big change from the bus station. The apartment had soft lights and comfortable chairs. It felt very safe. Ben pointed to a small room. "You can use this," he said. Inside, there was a bed with a thick, warm blanket. On the bed, I saw new, clean clothes. A simple shirt, soft pants, and a warm sweater. "You can take a warm shower," Ben said kindly. "Then put these on." I felt a strange mix of relief and worry. My body was happy to be warm, to have clean clothes, but my mind was still careful. I looked at the new clothes. They were plain but looked very comfortable. I went to the bathroom. The hot water felt wonderful on my cold skin. It had been many days since I had a proper wash. I put on the clean clothes. They felt good, like a soft hug. When I came out, Ben was in the living room. He looked at me, and his eyes were kind, but there was something else in them. It was not just pity. It was a look I did not understand. It made me feel a little uncomfortable. I had lived on the streets for a while. I knew people could be kind, but often they wanted something in return. I did not know what Ben wanted. My mind stayed careful. I did not trust him fully. "Thank you," I said softly. "You are welcome," he replied. "Do you want some hot tea or coffee?" I nodded. As he made the drinks, I looked around the apartment again. It was very neat. There were no family photos or many personal things. It felt like a place where someone important lived, but also a little empty. Ben brought 2 cups of tea. We sat on the comfortable sofa. "What do you do?" I asked him, trying to learn more. He looked at me with a small smile. "I am a businessman," he said simply. He did not say more. He did not tell me what kind of business or why he was helping me. His answer was short. This made my caution grow stronger. He was kind, but he kept his secrets. I wondered what kind of businessman helped a stranger from a bus station. My new place was warm and safe, but it was also full of questions. 3. The big party. After about 1 week, Ben spoke to me. He said, "Please come with me to a party. I think you will enjoy it." I felt a little nervous. I did not often go to parties. I had never been to a high society party before. Ben had given me a new dress for the event. It was a beautiful red color. The fabric was soft and it felt special. I put it on carefully. It was the nicest dress I had ever worn. I looked in the mirror. For a moment, I did not look like the girl from the bus station. We went to a very big hotel. The building was tall and grand. Inside, there were many people. They all wore expensive clothes. They looked very rich. The room was bright with many lights. Soft music played. Ben held my arm as we walked. He smiled and talked to some people. When he introduced me, he said, "This is my friend." I tried to smile, but my heart was beating very fast. I felt different from everyone else. I felt like an outsider. Many eyes were on me. I could feel people looking at my dress, then at my face. Some women whispered when I walked past. I tried not to listen. I tried to look at the beautiful decorations, but it was hard. I felt like everyone knew my story. They knew I was not from this world. I felt judged by their stares. I felt small and not important. It was like I was back on the street, but in a very fancy place. I just wanted to hide. Then I heard some words clearly. A woman was talking to another woman near me. She did not speak loudly, but I heard her. She said, "Isn't she the girl from the street?" My face became very hot. It felt like fire. My eyes started to hurt. I felt a sharp pain in my chest. Her words were like a cold knife. They cut me deeply. I wanted to run away. I wanted to leave the party, the hotel, and all these people. I just wanted to disappear. I felt tears in my eyes. Suddenly, I felt a warm hand. Ben took my hand and held it tightly. He did not say anything, but his hand was strong. It showed me he was there. It showed me he supported me. He stood close to me. His presence made me feel a little safer, even with all the people around. I looked at him, and he gave me a small, kind smile. He understood. I knew he did not want me to feel bad. His hand holding mine was a small comfort in a very big, scary room. For a photo and a secret. One night, I woke up suddenly. The room was dark, but I heard a voice. It was Ben. He was talking on the phone in his study. His voice was low, not his usual kind tone. It sounded almost angry. I could not hear the words, but the feeling was strong. I felt a small fear. What was wrong? Who was he talking to? I lay listening until the sound stopped. The house became quiet. The angry voice stayed in my mind. The next morning, Ben seemed normal. He smiled and made coffee. But I could not forget the night. After breakfast, I asked him. "Ben," I began, "who were you talking to last night? Your voice sounded different." Ben looked at me. His smile left his face. He looked worried. "I cannot tell you yet, Jess," he said softly. "If I tell you everything, I am afraid you might run away. Please just trust me." His words did not make me trust him more. Instead, they made me want to know even more about him. Why did he have secrets? Why was he afraid I would leave? Questions filled my mind. I needed to understand who Ben really was. He had helped me, but I knew so little about his life. This secret felt big, making me uneasy. I wanted answers, and I knew I might have to find them myself. A few days later, Ben left for a business meeting. This was my chance. I walked to his study, the room where I had heard him on the phone. My heart beat fast. I felt a little bad for looking, but my curiosity was too strong. I looked at his large wooden desk. There were many papers and books. I opened the top drawer, then the second, more papers. Under a pile of old letters, I saw something. It was a flat, white envelope. It looked old and was tucked away, almost hidden. I pulled the envelope out. My hands shook. It felt heavy. I opened it slowly. Inside, there was only one thing, a photo. I picked up the photo. My eyes went wide. It was a picture of Ben. He looked younger, but it was him. Next to him stood a woman I did not know. She had a kind smile, and in the woman's arms there was a baby, a small, tiny baby. Ben was smiling in the photo, a happy, warm smile. He looked like a father. This photo showed a part of Ben's life I knew nothing about. Who were these people? Was this his family? A secret family? This was a very big secret. 5, a man's warning. It was another evening. Ben took me to a different event. It was not as big as the first party, but many important people were there. I wore a nice dress Ben gave me. I felt a little more comfortable, yet still an outsider. Suddenly, a man walked toward me. He was tall, with cold eyes. He looked a little like Ben, but his face was hard. He stopped in front of me. Ben was talking to someone else. The man looked at me, then spoke. "Hello," he said. "I am Ben's stepbrother." I felt worried, not knowing Ben had a stepbrother. "Hello," I said quietly. He did not smile. "You are a mistake in Ben's life," he told me. His words were ice. "My family will never accept you. You do not belong here." My heart felt heavy. His words were worse than before. "Ben's family is important," he said. "You break our rules and are not from our world." He took out a thick envelope. "Take this money, go away, disappear from Ben's life." I looked at the envelope. It held much money. My old life had no money, but I shook my head. "No," I said. My voice was shaky but strong. "I will not take your money. I will not leave Ben." The man's cold eyes grew colder. He put the envelope away. "You will regret this," he said. Then he turned and walked away. His words stayed with me like a dark cloud. Was I a mistake? Would Ben's family never accept me? I tried to enjoy the evening, but it was hard. His words echoed. I felt sadness. I doubted everything. Later that night, in Ben's apartment, I sat alone. I could not stop thinking about the man's words. Tears came. Ben sat next to me. He saw my sad face. "What is wrong?" he asked softly. I told him about his stepbrother's words. Ben listened. He pulled me close, holding me tight. "They don't know you, Jess," he said. His voice was warm. "They only see your past, not who you are, but I do. I know the real you. That is all that matters." His words made me feel a little better. He held me for a long time. I knew Ben cared. The stepbrother's warning still lingered. It was a cold thought, a shadow. It made me wonder what else I did not know about Ben's life. 6. The paper to sign. One afternoon, the phone rang. It was Ben's stepmother. Her voice was polite but firm. She asked me to come to her house. She said it was important. I felt a little nervous, but I said yes. I decided to go alone. Her house was very big and grand. It stood on a large piece of land. The windows were tall and the walls looked very old and strong. Inside, it was quiet. There were many expensive pieces of furniture and art, but the house felt cold, not warm like Ben's apartment. Ben's stepmother was waiting for me in a large room. The room had dark wood and heavy curtains. She wore a dark dress that looked very costly. When she saw me, she smiled, but her smile did not reach her eyes. Her eyes were like ice, very cold and hard. She did not offer me a drink or ask me to sit comfortably. She just pointed to a chair across a large, shiny table. I sat down slowly, feeling a little small in the big room. She looked at me for a long moment, not speaking. Then she pushed a paper across the table toward me. The paper was thick and white. It had a lot of words written on it in small letters. It looked very formal and important. "If you marry Ben," she said, her voice clear and sharp, "you must sign this." She watched my face closely, like she was waiting for my reaction. Her words were like small, sharp knives cutting through the quiet air. I picked up the paper and started to read some of the words. It was a contract. It said that if I married Ben, I would not get any of his money if he died. It said I would not own anything that belonged to him or his family. I would inherit nothing from them. It was very clear. I understood what she wanted. She wanted to test me. She wanted to know if I was with Ben for his money or for him. She wanted to make sure I would not get any part of their family's wealth. I did not care about money, but I knew this was about control. It was about her trying to control Ben's life and to show me I was not good enough for their family. She wanted to make me leave. I looked at the paper, then at her cold eyes. I did not care about money. I cared about Ben. I wanted to prove to her and to myself that my love for Ben was true. I wanted to show her I was not like the other people in their world who only thought about wealth and status. So I picked up the pen that lay next to the paper. My hand was steady. I signed my name clearly on the line at the bottom. I pushed the paper back to her. Her fake smile did not change. She simply took the paper. I left her house feeling strange. I felt brave because I had signed it, but also a little sad because of her coldness. When Ben came home later that evening, I told him everything. I told him about the stepmother and the paper she made me sign. I told him I had signed it. His face changed very quickly. It turned very pale, white like paper. His eyes became wide and then very angry. He was quiet for a moment. Then he spoke, his voice low and full of anger. "They will regret this," he said. He did not look at me. He looked away, out the window, his hands clenched into tight fists. I had never seen him so angry. 7, the real reason. 1 month passed after I signed the paper for Ben's stepmother. Slowly, the full truth came to me. It was like many small pieces of a puzzle coming together. I thought about Ben's angry phone calls and the secret photo I found. I remembered his stepbrother's warning and his stepmother's cold smile. All these things had worried me. Now I understood them clearly. I learned that Ben was not just a businessman. He was the heir to a very large family fortune. His family had much money, passed down for many years. Ben's father had written a special paper, his will, before he died. This will said something important about Ben's money. It stated that Ben would only get all of his family's inheritance if he was married. If he was not married, he would receive only a small part of the money. This was a strange rule, but it was clear in the will. This rule explained everything. It explained why Ben found me at the bus station and brought me home. It explained why he took me to big parties. And it explained the contract the stepmother made me sign. She did not want Ben to have all the money. She wanted him to marry someone else. She wanted to control Ben and his fortune. My signing the contract was a power play for her. She thought I would refuse, but I signed it to show my love for Ben, not knowing the real reason. When I understood this, my feelings were mixed. First, there was a deep sadness. I thought, was I just part of a plan? Was Ben using me for his money? My heart felt heavy. I remembered his kindness. Was all of that fake? Was it just an act? I felt confused and betrayed. I needed to talk to Ben right away. I needed to know the truth from him. I needed to know if his feelings for me were real or just part of his father's paper. I found Ben in the living room. My voice was quiet. "I know," I said. "I know about your father's will and the money." Ben looked at me. His face was serious. He sat next to me. "Yes, Jess," he said. "At first, it was a plan. My father's will made me do it. I needed to be married to get the fortune. I was looking for someone, and then I found you." He took my hands. "But then," he continued, "things changed. I started to know you. I saw your kind heart. My feelings for you became real. I fell in love with you, Jess. You are not just a plan. You are everything to me." His words sounded honest. I looked into his eyes and saw truth. The fear in my heart went away. I knew then that his love was real. 8, my new life. Our wedding was small and simple. It was in a beautiful garden, not a big, fancy hotel. The sun was warm and soft flowers bloomed around us. It was a quiet day, just as I wanted. Ben stood beside me, holding my hand. His eyes were full of love, and I felt a deep peace. It was a day I would always remember. Ben's stepmother and stepbrother were there. They did not smile. Their faces were cold. They did not clap or offer good wishes. But I did not care. Their opinions did not matter anymore. I was marrying Ben, the man who saved me. Their coldness could not touch my happiness. My life was very different now. Not long ago, I was alone. I slept in a cold bus station. I had no home, no warm bed. I was always hungry and afraid. I never thought I would find a safe place. I never thought I would find love, but here I was marrying Ben. He was kind and strong. He loved me for who I was. Now I felt safe and warm. I had a home, a real home with Ben. He was my family. He showed me what true love was. He showed me I was important. He fought for me. I learned that I could change my story. I could rewrite my life. This was my own lesson, learned through hard times. The fear from the street was gone. The fear of being alone was gone. The fear of what people thought was gone too. I had faced many hard things. I had signed the paper. I had learned Ben's truth. I had refused money. I had chosen love. These choices made me strong. My past did not control me. I was free. I often thought about that first cold night. Ben asked me if I needed food. I could have said no. I could have stayed lost, but I said yes. That one word changed everything. It was the start of my new life. It was the start of my real life. I was grateful.